they either will burn out or they'll learn their lesson and they'll rotate, not necessarily to QNT, but eventually when QNT picks up, same as in 2021, it will be inevitable that people will start to hop on the train and they will be our liquidity. And yes, this time I will be taking profits even from my QNT. Right now in the crypto market, let's take an example, Hamster Combat. Hamster Combat's a game, you play the game, and there was an airdrop predicted. Yeah, the airdrop was shit, but still, 131 million people were eventually eligible for the airdrop of the 300 million people that took part in the game. Right, so 170 million people were not eligible, were cheaters, or whatever. That's 131 million new crypto wallets, right? That's about the same as the amount of people that were in BTC in 2020, 2021, if I remember correctly. So that's massive because they accrued those numbers, Hamster Combat, in like 4 months. So if we now take it back to Quant has 150,000 wallets, right? It's pretty much zero when you compare it to 130 million. There has been barely any inflow of new people in either Quant or other projects, right? There's just still no retail interest in crypto.
I feel like it's the same people playing around.
It is. And that takes me to a conversation I had with somebody else. I actually had a couple of conversations. People DM me with questions like, "Yo, Jorna, what do you think of this, that? What's your point of view?" And I see it like this right now. So, what is Quant, right? If we boil it down, it's quote unquote interoperability. What other projects are interoperability? Yeah, in quotation marks, Chainlink, XRP. Let's keep it at that. Those two combined have like, maybe 2 million people, 2 million wallets-ish, something like that. All those people entered prior 2020 or in 2020. So those were the people that were interested in interoperability. A lot of quotation marks here. Bear with me. All those people that joined back then probably bought XRP and Chainlink. Why? They had marketing. So they had, again, in quotation marks, their interoperability bet. Quant was late. Quant didn't do any real marketing.
For sure they didn't.
So they didn't accrue many holders. All the people that were in the quote-unquote interoperability got burned because XRP is not delivering, right? Link could be delivering, but also isn't really, not really. And even still, if people believe that it is, people are not going to be skipping from XRP or Link to QNT. Why? Because they're underwater.
Yeah.
So we have that, right? So there's no new people since 2021 coming into QNT simply because the people that joined between January and September were just green candle hunters, which is fine. We probably lost a bunch of those already. But still, who are the people that joined crypto since then? And that's, to Tim's point, meme coins, right? Interoperability protocols mostly have been a lie, right? None of them have delivered. None of them have actually done what they promised to do.
If you ask interoperability, but then on their own terms, right? It's not true interoperability.
Yeah, exactly. So they didn't deliver. They didn't deliver the adoption, and that's kind of like what the sentiment is on X. If you, in my opinion, boil it all the way down,
they technically delivered, but they didn't really deliver. If it makes any sense.
People are just disappointed. Another upside for the Chainlink and XRP is that you can stake it and you can get interest and you can get loans and blah, 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 and so on. Anyway, Quant doesn't have all that stuff. People that joined between September 2021, Quant all-time high, and now are mostly in there for the memes. And you can say and think of memes whatever you want, but at least memes are honest. Everybody knows a meme coin is nothing but a funny image with a narrative.
It is.
And if we are really, 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 really fucking honest, Nike, Adidas, Australian, I know I'm old, are all just sports brands with a narrative. Nothing more. Nothing about Adidas or Nike is better than from Australian or Umbro or whatever other brands exist. But the narrative is what sells, right? Same with most wine, same with most whatever. It's more or less all equal, but the narrative is what sells. And the same is with meme coins. So people are just, because money is scarce for most people in crypto, there are not many real investors with deep pockets speculating in crypto. Why? Because, well, there's not much to go on, and it's literally a kind of a casino thing. So you need to make your bets in a way that you think that you have any control over.
Oh yeah.
What is going on? And people want their monies now, so they can buy better stuff. That's what we tell ourselves later. So sorry, my yogurt is fighting back. So when we look at the interoperability things, right? People are not switching from XRP or Link to QNT, right? It's not going to happen because everybody wants to break even, blah, blah, blah. We're all very hopeful people, even though we're cynical as fuck. Then we have the people that are throwing their money in memes right now and just, like Tim said, are recycling, repurposing funds and just trying to get incrementally higher up into the food chain. But retail still isn't here. And if we look at what happened in 2021, we saw buses with Shiba Inu logos and fuck knows what else. Floki, that was it. Floki.
Floki was the thing.
Floki were on buses or trams, whatever. And everybody and their neighbor were calling me, asking me, oh, Jörn, can you do a quick presentation about QNT? I'm really interested in getting into that coin. Some shit like that. We're not there yet. And what my thoughts are is that by now everybody, when we take it back to Quant, knows Quant watching on the sidelines, people hoping they can make money elsewhere. They need confirmation, they need validation, and they need staking. And that was also the vast majority of the messages that I received. Like, yo, Jarno, when is staking come in? What will it look like? What will the ROI be? And so on. And truly, I don't know. I have no clue. It will be real, right? It will be real yield. So there won't be any inflation going on. And you'll get paid in QT, arguably still. We don't know anything else. I think it will come around set P. But what I do know is that as soon as that comes, it becomes a lot more interesting, opportunity cost wise, for people that are already up to speed with QNT. And I think that it takes a few more dominoes for people to start realizing that not everything is a lie, not everything is a scam. And right now, even us within the Quant community are still sabotaging our own projects by complaining and bitching and whining, even though that got better, gotta say. But I think still believe that people will come and people will come back. And it's the same with the meme coin chasers that are chasing the meme coins right now. They either will burn out or they'll learn their lesson and they'll rotate, not necessarily to QNT, but eventually when QNT picks up, same as in 2021, it will be inevitable that people will start to hop on the train and they will be our liquidity. And yes, this time I will be taking profits even from my QNT. I will not be fucking round tripping again. But again, to take it like all the way back to a hamster combat, 131 million people were interested in playing a game for an airdrop. That airdrop turned out to be like what, 10 or 20 euros, maybe something like that. It's probably even less now. But that was 131 million people looking for free money. A lot of those people, and this is just my thinking, were not eligible for the airdrop because they didn't know how to use a wallet, how to connect a wallet. They thought it was too difficult or too scary, or they failed to meet requirements, blah, 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 blah. That being said, all those people still wanted to take part in this and be part of it. And I'd say that's very promising. I think there's a lot of people on the sidelines looking to make money, not knowing that we will take all their money. And yes, call me a psychopath, but that is how it works. Especially
basically your exit liquidity.
Especially when it comes to meme coins and stuff like that, right? I mean, most of them are just based on the greater fool, right? And it's sad, but it's the truth. Yeah, and I don't want to take anybody else's money, but that is how it works now. But I mean, if somebody was here right now, I wouldn't put a gun to their head and take their money. But if somebody comes up to me like, "Hey, dude, I have this money for you. Will you please take it from me? Because I think that what you're going to give me is going to make me more money." Who am I then to say no? I was an idiot. I was an idiot in 2021. But if now somebody wants this used toothpick and he wants to pay me €1 for it, because he thinks that because Jarno, co-host of the Quamfy Show, chewed on this is worth €10.
Yeah.
Why would I not say, sure, motherfucker, I have stacks of these. Here, look at, there's another one. I mean, that's kind of what it boils down to in a way. And it first made me really sad, right? That is the way that money is made, but it is how money is made. Anyway, you look at it. People spend money on something they think has more value than the money that they spend on it.
Ultimately, sure, there's a difference, right? Because with some cryptos and some assets, it's literally based on greater fool theory, because there's no intrinsic value to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? The product itself doesn't really produce anything. Like a meme, it doesn't, it's just a meme, right? And it's not even claiming to be anything else than a meme.
Yes, but the value is in the community and the shared experience and the images and so on.
But that's it. But then, for example, with like some stocks, you buy them, but you can buy them from someone else. But if they pay you dividends, you're actually buying a product which is actually granting you some dividends.
Yeah.
So it's giving you something back. And then with quants, you also buy into a product, an actual functioning product. I think there's a difference in that, so I don't really feel like the greater fool theory completely applies with us, and that's also why I don't really feel bad about that. But for example, with some utter nonsense in crypto, where people just know it's not really worth anything, but they just speculate that it's gonna blow up based on hype.
To you, to you, it doesn't have value. But if you're in a project for a long time and you like the community and you're building things, for instance, Hamster Combat right now, they're actually building games and they're partnering with games and they're creating this entire ecosystem and shit around it. And there's more examples of this where it started out just as a meme, but it picked up because people loved the culture, people loved the engagement, people loved the people that they met there, right? They were kind of, in a way, like-minded people. And when like-minded people meet, right, and they form tribes, then that's when magic happens. And yes, most of them will not. But I think brushing something off as, meh, it's only a meme, is a little bit short selling something that can be a thing. I mean, arguably, right, with maybe iPhone, I'm not sure if that's the right, but they have a very vibrant and committed community around that brand, and that's strength for them.
Yeah,
And
yeah, true. But
is an iPhone really so much better as a Samsung or as a Huawei or LG? I don't know, right? Eventually, it boils down to, and yes, I know there's intricacies to every platform and so on, but there's still a silicon chip in it, and there's still a processor, and there's still a camera, and so on and so on, and the rest is more or less nuanced. And yes, build quality is a thing, but the culture and the strength around the brand, that is what really matters. That's sort of loyalty and the sort of the stories around it. And meme coins have the two in a way, not all of them, and many try and many fail. But the same goes for like tons of other things. Anyway, taking it back to Quant is a dinosaur coin, and it will never reach all-time high again. Time will tell. I think it's not the case. I'm still like, what, 90% QNT. I do have a bunch of other shit, moonbags, but I still have my money on QNT. I think this year was already amazing. I think there could be more, but there's definitely more next year. The when gateway question, yeah, I think still around SETP, right? The secure asset transfer protocol. I think that is pretty much done. I feel I have no facts, but they are already up to an extent and testing. And it will be a matter of time before that goes live, and all the banks and stuff that we're gonna tap into in the next topics. They'll need SETP, and there's no other protocol that can do the same thing.
No.
And gateways will make it all possible, accessible, and we'll elaborate on that on later slides.